When people think of Massachusetts, they think of the Red Sox, baked beans, and pilgrims, all things synonymous with Boston. Massachusetts has a fairly diverse geographic makeup, especially out west. In the western part of the state, in the small city of North Adams, there lies the Hoosac Tunnel, named for the Hoosac mountain range, which it cuts through, allowing trains to bring people and goods easily through the mountains. But a series of accidents and deaths during its construction earned it the nickname of the Blood Pit. And oh yeah, it's supposedly haunted. The tunnel was under construction from 1851 to 1875 and cost $2 million to create, which is the equivalent of over $84 million today. Impressively, it is still the longest active transportation tunnel east of the Rockies. Its purpose was to help connect Boston to upstate New York, and it was really an engineering marvel of its time. However, there is a dark history behind the triumph of engineering. From the New England Historical Society, quote, March 20th, 1865, 3 explosive experts decided to blast with nitroglycerin. They placed the charge and ran back toward a safety bunker. 2 men never made it. The third man, Ringo Kelly, set off the charge before the others reached the shelter. Soon after the accident, Kelly vanished. Some suspected he deliberately set off the nitroglycerin. 2 months later, workers found his body inside the tunnel, at the almost exact place the other 2 had died. Authorities concluded someone strangled Ringo Kelly, but they never found a suspect. Rumors flew that spirits killed him in revenge for the murder of the other 2 men, close quote. Though that wouldn't even be the deadliest day of construction. On October 17, 1867, a fire broke out in a building situated atop the mine shaft that 13 miners were currently in, attempting to make a central ventilation shaft. At the time of the fire, the workers were 600 feet down, and while there were 4 men in the building, when it began, they were unable to put out the blaze, and were forced to flee as the building began to collapse into the shaft. As such, there wasn't any time to bring the 13 men up before the flames overtook the building. Putting out the flames in turn flooded the tunnel, putting the miners in even more peril. Once the fire was extinguished, a man named Thomas Mallory was lowered into the central shaft to search for survivors. Conditions in the pit were dire. The lack of oxygen made it so Mallory had to come up and be sent down several times, as to not pass out. Eventually, he concluded that no one could have survived. A year later, people were able to reach the bodies of the 13 victims, and to their horror, they found that some had managed to construct a makeshift raft to survive the water flooding in, but would eventually succumb to the lack of oxygen. In the time between the accident and discovering their bodies, workers reported seeing ghostly figures carrying pickaxes and shovels, presumed to be the spirits of the missing miners. In 1868, Paul Travers, a former cavalry officer and mechanical engineer, was asked to investigate the tunnel in reports of strange sounds. From museumhack.com, quote, They entered expecting to find nothing but the sounds of wind howling through the rock. Instead, the 2 of them heard the voices of a groaning man, just as reported by the more superstitious workers. Travers wrote of the experience, I'll admit, I haven't been this frightened since Shiloh. Shiloh was a battle during the Civil War, so pretty harrowing. Again, from the New England Historical Society, quote, In 1874, a hunter named Frank Webster vanished near the Hoosac Tunnel. A search party found him 3 days later in a state of shock. He said strange voices ordered him into the tunnel, where ghostly figures wandered around and invisible hands took his hunting rifle and began beating him with it, close quote. The tunnel is still active, so it's not suggested that you walk through it, but that doesn't stop people, obviously. User SouthStreet85 on Reddit said that they visited the tunnel in the late 90s. Quote, I walked through the tunnel in 98 with a friend. We had multiple light sources, boots, and hard hats. I had the feeling that we were being watched the whole time, and I don't mean by CCTV, close quote. Even with the dangers of trains, it remains a popular place for students from the nearby Massachusetts College of Liberal Arts, or MCLA, to hang out. A friend of mine attended college at MCLA and shared their experience with me. Quote, I've been there a few times. People would usually go there and just kind of go in and peer at night. There was a ladder and a rickety platform. I think we'd walk from train tracks by MCLA a few miles down. I think people sometimes spray painted there. The rumors were you could hear workers still working where it collapsed. I just remember people would say that you could feel an energy. You couldn't go very far before it would get pretty dangerous and mucky. I'd go very drunk every time, honestly, and I remember yelling at the ghosts. But I know at a certain point it gets very eerie, and I think that time I immediately turned away and rushed back as fast as I could. I also remember the train tracks and areas leading up to it. There were spots where you have to like hop and it's wooden and it's just bottomless dark several feet below, close quote. So what do you think? Do you believe the Hoosac Tunnel is haunted by occasionally murderous ghosts? Would you explore it? Or perhaps you already have. If so, let me know in the comments. I'd love to get a first-hand account about all of this. Thank you so much for checking out this video. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe. It's October, so you know we have more videos coming out this month, as well as general videos every single week. And if you can't get enough of our content, check out the main channel, Wicked Everything, our video game pop culture news channel, Those Fake Nerds, our sports channel, Wicked Sports, our podcasting channel, Better Radio. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Please subscribe if you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.